Chapter 3. Planning. In the sanctum of his apartment, Aaron meticulously studied the plans of the senator's mansion, his trained mind working with precision to decipher the layout and narrow down the possible locations of the console he sought. Each room, each corridor, and each detail was scrutinized with the meticulous attention to detail that had become his trademark. First, he focused on the common areas of the mansion, the places where guests would frequent and where security might be lighter. The grand foyer, the dining hall, and the entertainment rooms were all possibilities, but Aaron knew that the console he sought would likely be tucked away in a more discreet location. Next, he turned his attention to the private quarters of the mansion, the inner sanctum where the senator and his family would retreat from the public eye. Bedrooms, studies, and private offices were all potential candidates, but Aaron was aware that access to these areas would be heavily guarded and monitored. Using his knowledge of security protocols and his intuition honed by years of experience, Aaron began to eliminate unlikely possibilities. He cross-referenced the plans with any information he had gathered about the senator's habits and routines, searching for patterns that might lead him to the console. As he pored over the plans, a pattern began to emerge. Aaron noticed a cluster of rooms on the upper floor of the mansion that were less frequented by guests and appeared to be more heavily guarded. These rooms, he deduced, were likely where the senator conducted his most sensitive business affairs. With a sense of determination, Aaron focused his attention there, studying each room in detail. He considered factors such as proximity to the senator's personal quarters, level of security, and the likelihood of containing a console. After careful consideration, Aaron narrowed down the possibilities to 2 rooms, a small study adjacent to the senator's bedroom and a private office overlooking the mansion grounds. With the potential locations of the console narrowed down, Aaron set about devising the best plan to infiltrate the heavily guarded estate. He knew that attempting to breach the mansion during a high-profile event would attract too much attention, so he opted for a more inconspicuous approach, one that took advantage of routine activities and the ebb and flow of daily life at the estate. Aaron began by studying the daily schedule of the mansion's inhabitants, noting the times when security may be more lax and the occupants preoccupied with their own affairs. He identified routine activities such as meal times, staff shifts, and scheduled maintenance that could provide opportunities for him to slip past security undetected. Next, Aaron focused on exploiting the vulnerabilities in the mansion's defenses during these routine activities. He considered options such as posing as a maintenance worker or blending in with the staff during shift changes. Aaron also evaluated the layout of the mansion, searching for hidden entrances, ventilation ducts, or other access points that could provide him with a covert means of entry. He considered the possibility of scaling the exterior walls or infiltrating through underground tunnels if such options were available. With the pieces of his plan falling into place, Aaron meticulously laid out a timeline of events, calculating the optimal moments to strike when security was at its weakest. He identified a window of opportunity during the early morning hours when the mansion was typically less guarded, and the occupants were still asleep or just beginning their day. Aaron planned to exploit this vulnerability to slip past the outer perimeter of the mansion undetected, using his knowledge of the estate's layout to navigate through the shadows and reach his target. Once inside, he would move swiftly and silently, relying on his training and instincts to evade detection as he made his way to the designated rooms. Once he reached the study or private office where the console was likely located, Aaron would employ his skills in hacking to bypass any security measures and access the information he sought. He knew that time would be of the essence, and he must act quickly to retrieve the data before security forces caught on to his presence. As he finalized his plan, Aaron knew that success would depend on his ability to adapt to unforeseen challenges and remain one step ahead of his adversaries. But with his meticulous preparation and unwavering determination, he was confident that he could overcome any obstacle standing in his way and achieve his objective.